Hello. Welcome on in. Happy Wednesday. It's okay. I had to check if the music was playing. It's playing, which is definitely a good thing. I have a lot of audio sources for today's stream just because I need to have a lot of different apps open for it. I got my editing software. I got the picture-in-picture. Lots of got my thing that plays music for the stream. Lots of other things. Yeah, they say. Yeah, I can see. I can see why some people need to have dual gaming PC and streaming PCs now. But good, happy time zones to everybody. Happy time zones, happy Wednesday, or if some people are in the early hours of the AM, which that's crazy, but happy Thursday to you, I guess. You should probably go get some sleep, but hey, I can't control what you do. Anyways, today's stream is gonna be a little bit different. As you may or may not know, I entered Shaperillis's Blue Harvest YouTube Poop collab, and I made my final result. I published it to YouTube on Monday. The deadline for the competition is August 1st. So technically, if you want to make a YouTube poop for it, you technically have time. I'm not sure if you can make it. I wouldn't be able to make anything that I would be proud of in that little time. But yeah, we're gonna just get into get into the nitty gritty, get into all of the inspiration behind all of the jokes and how they work and everything. Hello, Lost. Welcome on in. Just about wrapping up my little introduction before I tell everybody who's new here what a YouTube poop is, and to actually show the video before I start. So again, I hope your week has been good. I hope everyone's week has been good. And one thing that I want to say, and one thing that I'm going to try and say multiple times throughout the stream to remind people, if you ever have questions about the YouTube poop or part of my process, any questions that you have, please don't leave them to yourself. Put them in chat, and I will be very, very happy to respond. Very happy to and I want this stream to be ideally very conversational. And yeah, somewhere, yeah, if you're curious about something, I want to be able to give you that answer. I don't want to gatekeep my process. So here we are. So if you don't know what a YouTube poop is, a YouTube poop is basically a form of video editing that that is basically uses all sorts of video editing techniques in an attempt to recontextualize source material in a funny way. This YouTube poop source material is season 6, episode 1 of Family Guy, Blue Harvest, and that episode is the Family Guy parody of Star Wars Episode 4: A New Hope. And I did not pick this source. This was picked by Shaperillis. Yes, if you didn't know, Shaperillis, the movie reviewer on YouTube, is also a YouTube pooper and also does host YouTube poop collabs. So I entered this one. This actually, and I actually have something to mention on that topic a little later. But yeah, so it's a lot of There's like speeding up video, slowing down video, recontextualizing words, bringing in other sources. Yeah, in an attempt to make it funny. Um, this might not be your style of humor. Even some of the obviously tastes very differently. There are a lot of different kinds of YouTube poopers out there, and yes we call ourselves poopers. We have no shame. Although I say this being my very first YouTube poop. Uh, so yeah, I'm just gonna let the poop speak for itself. Goodness, those are really weird words to say. Um, yeah, so here we go. The rules for this collab were pretty straightforward. That Family Guy episode has to be the source. No more than 3 minutes long. Mine is, a minute 30, a minute 45 with credits. Um, pretty rules like no trans, racism, sexism, transphobia, all of that. So yeah, pretty simple rules. Oh yeah, no, and no ear rape. Sometimes, some poopers enjoy ear rape humor. Some don't, and a shape is on the side of those that don't. So that was taken out of this collab. But those were the rules, shall we say? And without further ado, here we go. Again, if you have any questions about the jokes and what they mean, or any questions at all, don't hesitate to put them in chat whenever you want. Anyways, here we go. Oh, wait. I need to turn up the volume because I have this set to like my usual video game volume audio, which needs to be a lot lower because I'm talking at the same time. All right, hopefully this should be good. It might be a little loud, just a warning there.
And there's Mickelson's wife. God, she's
Stop the anime.
Peter, what is the Pope doing here?
Crap.
I can't see the end of the horizon. Hatsune Miku! Is that you? Have you found faith? Come to put me out of my misery, please!
Top 5 Darth Vader Funko Pops. Number 5.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
Is there any more to this message?
Spinton ass! Spinton ass! Yes!
Who the hell are you?
I'm old!
Good news! The Death Star has entered your orbit, selling Imperial gravel.
And now let's go to our 4-day forecast.
I'm foretold!
Thanks, Gerson.
Somebody stop me! I'm stuck in the trap!
You can't win. I am old, and I'm completely odious. I'm dead.
There we go. I muted myself. There we go. That was YouTube poop, and this is also the YouTube poop right here. This is my timeline for it. I hope you liked it. If you didn't, that is totally fine. Let me switch my audio source to Premiere. Okay. So, and I hope you enjoyed it. We will get to your questions. Also, I should note that there are Deltarune chapter 4 spoilers in here. And I'll be letting you know when that conversation happens. If you want to avoid the Deltarune chapter 4 spoilers, So yeah, the rest, I don't think there are any spoiler materials in there. But just about like the actual like, conversation that I need. Like, all right. But anyways, again, feel free to ask questions at any time. Don't worry about interrupting me. Um, I hope you liked it. First of all, I hope you liked it. Um, but yeah, we are gonna start with where should we start? Let's start. Also, I forgot to mention the name. This is on YouTube. If you put exclamation points YTP in the chat, there you go. That is the link. It is called Peter Lee Griffin's Top 5 Funko Pops featuring Old Man. That is the name of the YouTube poop. I'm gonna up the game. Okay, a little bit compared to normal. Again, please tell me if anything is too loud. I don't think I will be talking at the same time as the audio, so I turned it up a little bit. Um, right. All right. How long did this take to get? And what program did I use? I use Premiere. I'm lucky to be able to use Premiere because I am currently doing, currently am doing some things where I'm able to get a discounted um able to get discounted Adobe stuff. Not sure how long that'll last, but um yeah, how long did this take? I started this is actually that's actually a really good question. That's a good one to start out with because I started probably around mid-June. The collab was announced on June 1st. Yeah, 2 months to enter. I started in mid-June. I made a little I made a little like Google Docs. Let me find it. I'm not gonna pull it up on stream. I'm just pulling it up on my on my phone so you can talk about it. Yeah, so my process for going about it was I watched. Here we go. Here's all the source material I have, by the way. I'm just gonna delete all of that. Delete the cuts. Yeah, so this is the main episode of Family Guy. It is 45 minutes long. I watched it twice. I watched it once by myself, and once with Guy Altera, my brother, who is part of the credits there. So I wrote down a lot of timestamps, a lot of notable parts of the video. So I have notable parts of the video. I have jokes I want to make. I have funny words. Those are the three sections of the video that I had. I went about it. How I actually went about implementing those is a little bit different because it's a collab. It's a YouTube poop collab, and we'll talk about that when we go into it. But I guess we'll start at the beginning. We'll start at the beginning. The Uma Musume joke. Or Uma Musume. I forget which one it is. So this joke, so this one was in the midway through the process. It's probably right around the start. Yeah, again, it was. I think like at the end of like the first week that Uma Musume came out, had its global release. Is not obviously not the anime, the game, and I had sort of been like, because like I had been seeing the Family Guy, all of this episode for so much, and I was thinking a lot about Family Guy because I was trying to think about jokes and all of that. I had the Family Guy thing sort of in my head, and I was the only thing that I was like on my timeline, there are so many Uma Musume videos on my timeline, and I was, and at some point I was, singing the song today because the Family Guy themes, starts with it seems today that all you see is violence in movies and sex on TV, and whatever reason, one time because I was just thinking a lot about Uma Musume, I and was thinking about how much it was everywhere. I for some reason I thought of the line, not even related to the YouTube poop, just thought about it seems today that all you see is Uma Musume pretty derby. And then I thought about what I had said to myself, and I, thought, wait, no, I could actually put this in there. Yeah, neuron activated. Exactly. So I went in there. Unfortunately, still had to be Lois saying it. Those are the only lines that Lois says, and there is no P in there. So I couldn't really get a pretty derby in there. So I just went with, okay, but hey, like violence in movies and sex on TV, that has everything you need for Uma Musume. Let's go here. I'll play the.
Hey, that in movies.
Yeah.
It's in movies. Violence in movies and sex on TV.
Movies was a very I used movies for probably like 50% of it. Is you had the ooh, yeah, you got ooh, you got moo, and you got. I don't think because I don't think I ever used that E at the end of movies. But I used movies a lot. You got the V from violence in love. Yeah, so that is where that came from. And then it's like I actually had to go about getting the Family Guy theme instrumental from and one of the things that I'll mention that really sucked about this process was that because that is that the thing that like the previous tool that I had used to download YouTube videos no longer worked in between when the YouTube poop was announced and when I started working on it. So I had to sort of go find a different tool to use for that, which is much more complicated. And now when I use it, like a lot of times the audio and video are off sync. So what I had to do, I discovered it through this. I discovered it through syncing up the audio because I needed to sync up this audio anyways. So I discovered I could just take a screen recording of the actual YouTube video itself and realize, okay, this is how the audio is supposed to be, and then line it up. I lined it up with this and was seeing like, okay, do I go for the whole "it seems today that all you see" bit, or do we just do we do it a little bit differently to the tune? So and that's how we sort of came out with "I Love Uma Musume." So we got this clip of Uma Musume here, right here. This is obviously taken straight from Peter the Horses here. This is just taken straight from that. No further explanation needed. But yeah, that was this joking. And again, if you have any questions about any previous jokes or anything else I've talked about, just let me know. And I got a YouTube comment about about liking this joke. I'm glad they did. I feel like this might be one of the most likely ones to get in. I was pretty proud with this one. We're gonna skip ahead of this joke here of the Lee jokes, and we're gonna get to the golf joke. you'll see why we're gonna do this one third. But the golf joke, um, this was this just came from the fact that I knew that I had to get VTuber shit in there somehow. I wanted to, actually, let me play it first. Let me play the joke.
And there's Mickelson's wife. God, she's
Stop the anime.
Okay, so my goal here was to confuse the shit out of most of the viewers of this channel, of this video. Because I'm guessing, I'm guessing that most, this is true for most people of the internet, so I'm also assuming that for YouTube poops, I'm assuming that most of the people who would watch YouTube poops, don't watch VTubers, don't really know VTuber stuff. I'm still trying, to figure out a lot of it myself. So I thought, yeah, let's just confuse them. And so I just started. I was looking through the video and trying to see where I can get like one of like the only like 3 or 4 VTuber terms I know in there. And as soon as I heard
Mickelson's wife. Gosh.
It usually says
Mickelson's wife. God, is she hot?
Look at that rack.
Yeah, it's Family Guy. They just talk about Phil Mickelson's wife and her breasts and everything. That's kind of know what you're getting with Family Guy, unfortunately. But as soon as I heard the way that they said, just them saying she, the emphasis on sort of like the weird kind of emphasis that they put on the word she, and just the idea that they're commenting on this person anyways. They're like, I could just do Ushi. That's super simple. That is super simple to do. For those who don't know, as a Japanese term, Oshi, O-S-H-I, that is sort of your favorite VTuber is your Oshi, and that it comes from like push. I believe it comes from the word. I believe it comes from like the literal meaning is like to push forward. So it's like the one you support, push forward. Like that is, as far as I know, that is the term. That is what it's mean. I added Dio to the end because I know there's a VTuber out. There are like some VTubers out there who there's at least one that I have heard of. I don't know the name. I don't remember what they look like, but I know there's one out there that like ends a lot of sentences with the word Dio. And I believe that's just like I believe it's just like adding emphasis or just like like I'm not 100% sure. I looked it up. I did look it up just to make sure I was kind of using it right. Now I don't remember, but I made sure I was. I made sure I was using it right. So I initially just had, oh god, she's my Yoshi, and it realized, okay, it's just this one commentator. But there's the other commentator in the scene, and the other how do I keep this conversation going? And obviously, yeah, literally just ara. That is, I don't think I need to explain that one. I think you can probably, and again, it is sort of playing off the existing like connotations of the scene, commenting about Mickelson's wife. It's like, yeah, that's about what you'd expect maybe from the commentators. Then we have this long section here. It is very, very long. How long is it? We start at like a minute and it goes until a minute 35 or so. That is very long. in YouTube. You haven't heard that in ages. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But yeah, that it. And I was thinking about, do I make a new joke? Like, what do I do? I heard anime in there. I heard the possibility for anime in there, and I already had I believe like I forget where in this point I was. I at least had I had one of the quote unquote anime jokes. I know I didn't have this one. I know I didn't have that one yet. It was either the Ashidayo. I think it was probably this. I definitely had this because this was one of the first I came up with. I might have had the Hatsune Miku joke, but I'm not sure if I did or not. But I heard anime and I was like, what if Peter is just commenting on the fact that there is an anime joke? And so I initially wanted to do stop the anime bullshit. That is what I initially wanted him to say. But again, it's a whole 35 seconds of Peter, like 35 seconds like Peter talking. There is no SH sound in there. No SH sound whatsoever. That is actually, and I noticed while editing it, that it is actually kind of rare. That for there to be an SH sound. So I have much more respect for all the YouTubers out there who have gotten people to say shit. Like that is not easy. That is not easy to do. But then okay, like what can I say instead of bullshit? Brain rot was sort of this was kind of, it's like I kind of got there with the sentence mixing.
Yeah, brain rot.
Like brain rot. It sounds very robotic. It doesn't exactly sound like Peter, but hey, I got there. I communicated the idea. Brain rot. Oh yeah, it does the job. Communicates the idea. And I feel like I should have added more of a pause here. I mainly wanted to scare people. Well, not scare people. I wanted a little bit of shock value with the sudden. Yeah, but then, yeah, responding on itself. That one of the big things I learned while doing this, one of the big things that I learned was your first joke idea is, at least my first joke ideas, tend to be very small. And, you know, they're a good, you know, it's kind of good that they're small because you, at least for a collab entry, I feel like I want it to be more quicker paced. I want it, I want it to be more quicker paced. I want to have like a little, you know, variety in there. But what's bad about that is that, okay, like you only have the one little thing. How are you gonna expand on that? And like if I just had, like, this is one of the things I noticed for this joke. I had the Amelie one was first. I just had, imagine if we just had this.
And there's Mickelson's wife. Gosh, she's
like that joke is very short, and like it doesn't seem like it had the time it needed. It wasn't elaborated on. It was just like a couple words, and that would have been it. That was one thing I learned. I also, although I also had jokes that were too long and had too much of the original source material and weren't as, you know, as snappy as they should be. And it's like, oh, you're watching a little while before the joke, you know, before the joke hits. I don't want to keep my audience bored. We're gonna go to this joke right here. Yeah, now, and another thing with these two jokes, the reason for this joke, this was one of the last ones to come up, actually. This was one of the last ones to come up because I watched these two back and I realized they're kind of similar. They're both jokes that I'm very proud of, but you have one of the Griffins commenting on you know making like a personal statement, Lois loving Uma Musume, Peter not liking anime brain rot and wanting it to stop, and then you get a single word response. Like you have horse, you have no. So I realized, okay, there needs to be something in between to break that up. And what's in between is the rest of the Family Guy theme song. So I initially had what I initially did, yeah, a buffer, exactly. I initially had that was all I had. I didn't have Stan Lee yet. I just had the name Lee. That was it. It wasn't a very good joke. Uh, and I listened to it. And then I had the idea. Wait. I could do a VTuber joke here because and I could do something that I find very important. So this is going to be a little bit of a tangent. Well, not too much of a tangent, but I find it very important, at least like for me, when I'm doing this whole not content creation thing, because I don't want to call it that. I've just for like live entertainment, like live art kind of thing. Um, when I'm doing this like live entertainment kind of thing, I find it important to acknowledge and shout out the people who brought you to the point where you are, whether that's someone you personally know or somebody that has inspired you as like a live entertainer. I find that very important. Like there's a difference between like I know that there's like I totally like, understand, like I know there's a difference between that and like there is like a lot of people won't say who their she is on stream, which makes a lot of sense because if you're a big VTuber and you really like you like a small like a smaller VTuber, like you don't want them to just be known as this bigger VTuber's favorite VTuber. Like you want them to be known on their own terms, and that's important. But so like the point is that I want to like shout out people who have brought me to the point where I am, and that gets me to the Amelie joke. I was familiar with Ama quite a bit before she got into VTubing. I paid attention to the voice acting scene back in the day, back like sort of like before the pandemic happened. And Amma was definitely, one of the people who I was aware of, and one of the voice actresses who I followed. And I heard that, that she was gonna be doing this Twitch thing and doing this thing called being a VTuber, and I had no idea what that was, but and I had followed her work, and I thought, hey, why not? Why not tune into that? Why not tune into the debut, see what that's about? I tuned in, and I watched it, and my sort of takeaway to that was after watching was, I can see why you would be so interested in this, like as a voice actor specifically, because it is as because VTubing, like it's such a unique way to express a character. It's very different from a lot of other like just like stage acting or stage acting, voice acting, very unique kind of thing. And you also have you have a lot of personal agency over that. Like that's really cool. That's a lot of fun. But I also thought, I also thought this isn't for me. And then I never watched a video with the VTuber in it again for like 3 years. For three whole years. And then I rediscovered VTubing, and like, yeah, you know what? It might not have been for me back then, but yeah, it's for me now. And here I am. And so, I don't what I still watch this stuff very occasionally, um, but again, I don't know, without having watched your debut, like I might not, without having heard of other like people who like real people whose identities were known, become VTubers, around that like voice acting kind of era. Um, I might, when I rediscovered it, maybe I might not have been as receptive, and maybe I wasn't, would have just not clicked on that video that I got recommended that one time that was looked by a VTuber, and I might not be here. So that is sort of my little shout out there. But, again, I have talked for a while. So I thought, oh, cool, I'll do Amelie and that's it. Then I also heard Healy's in there, and I thought, oh, that's also really good, though. That's also really good. I don't think I'm gonna have the time for that, to do both. I did 3. So I had to figure out how to do the flow of it. So, so I was paying a lot of attention to the words and the syllables, syllables especially. He's Lee, that's 2. Healy's, that's 2. He's Amelie, that's 4. So that yeah, so, and just stringing those words felt like the best order for like the things that, like the various combinations that I could have come up with. And then Lee came last. I didn't know which Lee for a little bit. And I thought about it. It was like, oh, it's actually very obvious. I've never read comics. Like, I've seen some Marvel movies. I've never like read comics, but I feel like if you're gonna pick a Lee, it's gotta be that one. It's gotta be that one. So okay, we have gone through the first 3 jokes. There are 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so we are officially a fourth of the way through. Wow, okay. Okay, so now we're on to the Pope joke. The Pope joke, this was the main influence from Tai Altera. I pressed the button. There we go. So
Peter, what is the Pope doing here?
so there's a lot to this joke. The initial thing is the title crawl. I didn't have anything for the title crawl initially. I kind of ignored it. But then, as I mentioned, I was going through that second watch through with Guy, and as soon as we saw A New Hope, it was like, oh, you can just do a new Pope, change that up. It's like, cool. I settled for, but then if I just do, I initially again just had a new Pope and had Pope Leo the 14th waving around. That's all that I really had. And I thought, wait, no, okay, that's not enough. That's not enough for this. How do I spice this up further? So let's see. I will try and talk about. I see the ad break is starting. I will try and talk about some less important bits. In the meantime, let's see. Or I could just talk about something that took a really long time, which was working with After Effects. Working with After Effects, I had not done that before, and I had to get used to figuring it out. So I looked up a lot of tutorials. I looked up like Star Wars text crawl tutorial. I got this. I did want it to sort of be the same as this, to be about like the same size or whatever. But I realized at one point, okay, like I have to scale up my background of the original source material because it has the black bars on the side. And like, oh, okay, that has scaled up now the full thing. So it takes like the full part of the screen. I'm like, I'm not going to go and redo it. I've had too much After Effects. Waiter, there's too much After Effects in this coffee. Stupid, but yeah, After Effects was very interesting to work with. So I have the text scroll here. This is literally what you get when you actually no, that's actually pretty vital information. I feel like what's in there. It's pretty simple. I'll just say it again. It's the Wikipedia for Pope Leo. And then we have this. Yes, this is. I feel like some people may be very confused with this, or you're either very confused with it, or you immediately know it. Okay, you're back. We're back from ad break. I was just mentioning how tough it was to work in After Effects, just being new to it. Okay, so the text crawl here. So you're changing a new hope to a new pope. Instead of the usual Star Wars monologue. It's literally just what you get when you put Pope Leo the 14th into Wikipedia. If you're wondering why it says episode CCLXI on there, that is the Roman numerals for 267, because there are 267 popes who have existed. That is why you have all those jumbled up letters in there. Also, if you say in the comments that no, I looked it up on this website and it says there are only 266 popes, wrong. Most of those sources have not been updated. Most of the sources say that because that is the number of popes that had existed at the time that Pope Francis was the pope. Pope Francis is now no longer the Pope. It is now Pope Leo, 267. Okay, getting ahead of my hypothetical hate commenters. Okay, but the initial idea was to just have Leo, have the text crawl, have Leo waving to the crowd over the version of Megalovania that played for Pope Francis. Still astonished that even happened. Then I thought, yeah, okay, this is kind of short. This is kind of a little bit long, and not too much is happening. So I thought, so I was looking up Family Guy scenes with Peter Griffin and the Pope. I was just looking that up on YouTube. And I was watching some of the scenes, and we have
Peter, what is the Pope doing here?
Peter, what is the Pope doing here? From Lois. And which then in turn remind me of another source that I'd already had in here. And I feel like many people have used for this video. Yep. Let me play it. There we go. Yep. Peter Griffin versus Deadpool rap battle. That became a meme earlier in, I believe, around May, June, maybe earlier. But that was sort of when it hit the mainstream, I guess.
Superheroes were just
it has this part in it.
what an actual Griffin is. Remember when
Superheroes were just here for laughs.
What are you doing?
Crap. You went to Ajax?
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's just okay. Peter, what is the Pope doing here? So it says put this over, put rap. This is all rap had a tiny little Pope hat on him. This one, the Fight Marker rap battle. Shout out to Fight Marker and everybody else who worked on it, including Joe Bro as Jeff Bezos. Also Joe Bro, frequent Steve Gunner contributor. Love Joe Bro's performance as Jeff Bezos. But yeah, this the Fight Marker rap battle was the hardest with the whole with the audio desync. There's a lot of audio desync in that specific download for whatever reason. So yeah, I spent a not insignificant portion of the time when I should have been editing the actual YouTube poop, just trying to figure out, okay, like where do these actually line up? But yeah, that's the Pope joke. Let's get on to.
I can't see the end of the horizon. Hatsune Miku, is that you? Have you found ways come to put me out of my misery? Please.
I would say pretty simple. Not much to talk about. If it weren't for that, this was my first time with rotoscoping. I'm not sure if rotoscoping is the best way to do it in this circumstance. But the joke here is that, and this is a Family Guy political joke. So, and my rules are not part of my rules to not have like political controversial topic discussion. So I'm just showing it that like, yeah, it's just part of the Family Guy episode that the Star Destroyer has a Bush Cheney bumper sticker on it. Make of that what you will. Yes, so I thought about what I could put on there. And I was going through a few sources. I was going through a few ideas. I believe I may have already. Yeah, no, this was. When Peter's saying stop the anime brain rot. No, the anime brain rot is not going to stop. Actually, I need an anime thing after it, so that the anime brain rot actually doesn't stop. So, and then I was realizing when I watched this, I was thinking about Hatsune Miku came to mind, and it was like, wait, no, the Star Destroyer is actually obscuring the horizon. So, and then when you hear, the Star Destroyer is trying to take him out of his misery. So, that's perfect. Let's put them together. Also had to take out Hatsune Miku here because there are camera flashes. I missed a frame. Cool. Good job, me. That mistake is gonna haunt me for the rest of my life. Okay. But yeah, this was my first experience with rotoscoping. I had to do so many different layers on this. I don't even know if rotoscoping was the right thing to do to clear out the Bushani. Yeah, nobody's gonna notice just like a single frame before like a flashbang or whatever. But yeah, rotoscoping took a lot of time, as you will see on some of the others. Okay, yes, and this one.
Top 5 Darth Vader Funko Pops. Number 5.
This one was the very first joke that I thought of. The very first joke I thought of, and that is why it takes up so much of the title. Top five Funko Popes. It's literally just popes. It's literally just adding an E in there. It takes up so much of the title. It's like, this is the first joke I thought of, and I am very proud of it. Yeah, my first joke was a Funko Pop joke. I literally just looked at Darth Vader come out here. I didn't know it was Stewie. I hadn't seen enough of Family Guy to know that this was Stewie, and I just thought that Darth Vader looks like a Funko Pop. That I thought, and when I mentioned it to Guy when I was watching it, it's like I mentioned I look like a Funko Pop, and he broke out laughing. He's like, "Yeah, it does actually. Like, what the fuck?" So I thought, okay, yeah, I need to put this in. So I literally just searched. I searched YouTube. I searched for like Darth Vader Funko Pops. I thought this was going to be a recurring joke. So I searched. I just searched like top 5 Darth Vader Funko Pops, and a video popped up. I believe there are multiple ones, but I selected one by a creator called Padawan Pops on YouTube. I picked them just because of what at least I interpret in my I'm not very well aware of accents, but sort of like a Southern / Texan accent. I just thought like that. I thought that that was really good for the video. Um, so and yeah, so I put Darth Vader in the box. I tried to do a little. It was coming up late at this point. I tried to do some opacity masking with like to have not all of the box showing, because it would be like under the door or whatever. But I realized when you sort of did that, you had that come out. You couldn't exactly recognize that it was a Funko Pop box, and I wanted people like to watch on in horror as the Darth Vader Funko Pop box walked up and approached you. Yeah, I put a little bit of effort into the box. Found like a template online, surprisingly hard to find. And the YouTube poop logo and Darth Vader portrayed by Stewie Griffin. And again, I felt like it wasn't just enough to do number 5. Top 5 Darth Vader Funko Pops, number 5. I felt like that was again that could have been enough. I felt like I wanted to add something more, so I thought, you know what, I hadn't actually added some like funny sound repetition, so I just did some pitch increasing and sort of held frames a little bit here. That's the Funko Pop joke. I'm very proud of it. And I hope you are too. A lot of dedication to a single joke. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. You will not believe how far some poopers go for a single joke. You will not believe the level of effort. And if you have seen my previous stream, if you haven't, you can go to the VOD. If you haven't seen the previous stream where I edited a little bit of this for the stream on stream, I did a little intro to YouTube poop, and I showcased. It's not in this project file, but it was a joke as part of one of Shafe's previous YouTube poop collabs that by an entry by NP Carlson. That's is called just the Pompeii joke, and the Pompeii joke absolutely killed, incredible. And part of what made it so incredible was just the amount of work and dedication that was put into that moment. The amount of craftsmanship was incredible. And again, craftsmanship for stupid shit like this is part of what I really enjoy about this. Also, I said I was going to mention this and I forgot. Let me drag this in here. Where? Oh, yeah, because I don't have my search filter on. I have. Yes. Speaking of it, I'm just gonna put the thumbnail over it here. Speaking of Shafe, my favorite joke arguably is not in this YouTube poop at all. It is exclusively in the thumbnail, and this is my first YouTube poop. So again, I had a lot of fun just what if I just put Shape at the corner and say, look, you should stop making YouTube poops. Like this should be your only one. This should be your only one. They suck. You should quit. Never do it again. Quit editing videos. Cry in your bed, etc., etc. For whatever reason, even though that was like a very quick Photoshop job, like that was like, for whatever reason, I am arguably the most proudest of that rather than anything in this video. Okay, but it is one of my favorite jokes involved in this. So this is the Spampton Ass.
Kenobi. You're my only hope.
Is there any more to this message?
Spampton ass! Spampton ass! Yeah!
You see the impeccable duo of Balp and Wayne Radio TV here, as Spamton B and A Spamton respectively. Let me find the project file. Not the project file, just the sequence for this. This was, yes, sequence Spamton. I had all of my I have all of my jokes, and all of my jokes are in different files. Okay. Oh, I forgot that I edited this a little bit. This was an earlier version of the. How is there Bug, how did you get on my computer? You are awfully nimble. Yes, I will tell you where that's from in just a second. So, yeah, let me just go to source material. Yeah, part of what I did, I had each joke in a different sequence, a different timeline. I named them all Sierra Echo Quebec, and then whatever it is, so that I can just search Sierra Echo Quebec and just find all of my sequences whenever I need them. Yeah, but this is from the Spamton Value Network. This was a stream put on by Fangamer, Toby Fox, and the Radio TV Solutions crew. And if you are familiar, and I know you are with at least one of these, if you're familiar with probably be most familiar with Half-Life VR, but the AI is self-aware. Any of that. Let's see. Breaking Bad VR AI. There's a lot. They don't just do VR AI. It's not actually AI. None of it was like. Yeah, it was actually AI. But and look, they the Radio TV Solutions crew are incredible. They do stream. You should check them out. Wayne Radio TV, Bulb, Master Gur, Holly Holotones. Let me see if I can get all the way to the credits over here. Yep, Scorpy, Sockpens, Trog, Cammy, Kami, Batman, Log, all of the Radio TV productions crew, Radio TV Solutions crew are incredible. Go check them out. They do. They get up to pretty insane shit. And Fangamer and or Toby and or both, looked at them and all of the crazy, crazy like green screen 3D kind of like things that they'd done before. Oh, also, if you've seen Game Clam, if you've seen any of the Game Clam press conferences, that is also Radio TV Solutions. Game Clam is just is parodies of video game console releases, and they can get pretty creepy at times. But yes, this was all edited. This was the Spamton Sweepstakes event that Fangamer put on, raising money for charity. And there was lore released along with it was the auction items released off, and also lore released with funding milestones. And at the end of all of this was this crazy video, which is just inside inside the deranged mind of Spamton, pretty much. You have it's today's deal. Our boys in blue. It's just a peep of 0 or 100 chromer hatches in seconds. We have I have a couple of things from the Spamton Value Network in my redeems. Also, feel free to interrupt me with redeems or anything like that. It's funny. I don't care if it gets in the way of this discussion. It's funny. But yeah, you you have this very surreal editing style, which is it's just what Scorpy does. This is just what Scorpy does. To the point where when I first saw in chapter 3, chapter 3 spoilers for 10 seconds. When I'm starting now. When I saw the intro, when I saw like the Mr. Antenna's TV time intro, I thought it had to be edited by Scorpy. Because because they worked on this. It wasn't, but okay. Spoiler done. Spoiler done. But yeah, these are all like the prizes that were put up. Like, yeah, you have like previous, like, we had Fan Gamer merch, but Deltarune merch, but all the faces were replaced with Spamton. Yeah, Spamton socks. You have crazy things like Spamton after not surviving. Just yellow and pink eyes in a jar with something, I don't know. Oh yeah, the cardboard box Noel wears, the potassium, and oh yeah, the arguably the craziest one here. Hold on.
Spamton, Mr. and Mrs. and Thruple cutting board. 1, 2, 3.
It says the cutting board, it says Mr. and Mrs. and Spamton on it. So I knew that but it comes from, let's get to the actual scene here. Here we go.
Whoever she is, she sounds like she's in trouble. Is there any more to this message?
Intergalactic proton-powered electrical tentacled advertising droids. Intergalactic proton-powered electrical tentacled advertising droids. Intergalactic proton-powered electrical tentacled advertising droids. Hi, I'm Darth Harrington of Darth Harrington's Intergalactic proton-powered electrical tentacled advertising droids Emporium and Moonbase. Due to a garbled subspace
Yeah, so I knew that I had to do the Spamton body pillow. It was between it was between where it just says Spamton ass and
the one and only Spamton body pillow.
It was between shouting Spamton ass and the one and only Spamton body pillow. I was initially gonna go for the one and only Spamton body pillow, but I asked Guy, and what Guy said was, Guy just said, do whatever's louder, and so I went with Spamton ass, and I'm actually glad that I went with Spamton ass, because now you get this close up of Phelps and Wayne just shaking hands, looking at the camera, with the Spamton body pillow panning around in the background. If I did Spamton body pillow, like, you wouldn't have even seen the body pillow. Because it was just rotating in on itself. You wouldn't have even seen the body pillow. So I'm glad that I went with Spamton ass. As you can see, I also cut down. Yes, wherever she is, it looks like she's in trouble.
Is there any more to this message?
Yeah, I had to cut that down again. Too much dead time.
Spamton ass.
I had 2 different color mats. I had a black color mat because if I didn't have the why did I need to have that? If I didn't have that, you'd still be able to see the advertising droid faintly in the background behind it. Black one had the video over it with an opacity mask, and you have the other color mat, making it blue. You're blue now. That's my video editing technique. Okay, so, and we are going to get into, and I'm gonna say as little as possible
Who the hell are you?
about the Deltarune Chapter 4 spoilers.
I'm old.
There is a video called, there is a video called, that went around. actually, this was before the video even came out. That I really liked. So I really liked Salty DK Dan's old man impression. And yeah, and that is literally again, that I'm not making it up. It is called again, the character, the character is referred to as old man. And so I th- and so I thought I would do a recurring joke with the old man, uh with Herbert as Obi-Wan Kenobi, just replacing him with like Salty DK Dan old man sound effects. So that is what I did. And the this it's sort of like nobody's really gonna know that it's a joke until I say it. But um the the added element to this joke, for me at least, is that the recurring joke gets more effort put into it over time. Like it's very simple. I could have put the old man's face here. You
How are
literally you literally have just his face there. I don't have anything overlays, just the overlay of I'm old. And that actually came about because when I put I'm old here, it actually matches the mouth movement really well. I didn't need to edit it or anything. So yeah, and I already had like the other two joke ideas. Like, okay, I could do it like that. And that's all I really have to say about here. Let's go to do I want to do this? Do I want to do yeah, no, let's go in order.
Good news.
Yeah, this joke. Again, another one I don't think many people will get. It's not even particularly funny, but it's another shout out joke. So,
Good
I had to
news,
do
the
it.
Death Star has entered your orbit selling Imperial gravel.
So, this is a tribute to Good Times with Scar, who is probably my primary inspiration as a live entertainer here on Twitch. Scar has also has like gone through health adversities in his video making and streaming career, and just to see Scar just the community that just like I say, the community that he's created, and just the warmth that he brings to just his videos, is just like life in general, and to see him even like go out and like give back, do a lot of work for Gamers Outreach, and do enough work to where Gamers Outreach himself said, hey, would you like to come be on the board of directors of our organization? That helps it helps kids in kids in hospitals be able to play games in the hospital, video games in the hospital room, and have that method of spending time, spending positive time in your day, that for me, being someone with chronic pain, like, does truly make a difference. It may not seem like it, but it truly does make a difference. Like, obviously, all the more reason why I'm so proud of Kai and Rennie and Agri and everyone. My VTuber model siblings and everybody else on Team Sunny for raising money for Gamers Outreach, being partnering with them. Like, I'm so proud of my model siblings, dude. But yeah, I had to he's my primary inspiration as a live entertainer, and and this is one of the people on Hermitcraft, is a Minecraft multiplayer Minecraft server, and he built a shop. Called the Death Scar. And so I knew as soon as this video as soon as this was announced, pretty much, that if I was gonna do this as Tai Altera, even if I didn't, but especially if I did this as Tai Altera, I needed to include the Death Scar in here. I absolutely needed to include it. So yeah, you just have and this was also rotoscoped, very badly rotoscoped. I sort of covered it up with the text as much as I could.
Imperial gravel.
There's obviously pitch lowering and a little bit of scrambled, a very little bit of scrambled audio there, just to sort of imply like a gravelly voice. Try and make like an auditory pun a little bit. But again, this joke was less about being funny and was more about, a tribute to Scar. And also, if you're wondering why this looks like this, it's because, and the Family Guy source material, you have, am I gonna be able to find it? Now, this is why I have the sequences pulled up, because it might be in here. It is, it is in here. You have, you have the Death Star news. So that is why, that is why it looks like this. All right, now we go to Old Man Joke number 2.
And now let's go to our 4-day forecast.
I'm foretold.
Thanks, Gerson.
All right, so that joke is the second of the Old Man jokes. That one is very simple. It was just let me go to Sequence Imperial Gravel.
To our 5-day forecast. What's the weather like, Ollie?
Space weather.
Thanks, Ollie.
Yep. So that was So that one. Yeah, you just you had I was going through all of the different lines from the saying a lot of things as Old Man video, and I see forecast foretold, and you have that homophone there. I think that's what that is. I'm not exactly sure. I think so, anyways. But we and then just to sell it some more, I changed it to
go to our 4-day forecast.
4-day forecast, and have this 4 times to really sell the whole playing on the number 4 idea.
I'm foretold.
Thanks, Gerson.
Just get him to say that. And not too much to this joke. This one. This one. There's a lot to this one. So let's go since we're on the topic of the Old Man, let's go to this joke.
I am old and I'm completely odious. I'm dead.
So this one was the third joke, the third of those jokes, and this one was a lot. The second one was more edited than the first, and the third Old Man joke was more edited than the second. You have this whole compilation here. You have Darth Stewie getting ready, you have the Old Man getting ready, penis joke. Penis joke. They're fighting. You have again, Salty DK Dan, it's Old Man singing in the background. He completely own you like a doesn't. Gets slain. I had to fiddle a lot with the speed of this. What are the speeds of these clips? Again, 185. Yeah, to go 185 speed for their. I had to hold some frames at some point. They had the text sort of sliding in, figuring out exactly what frames I wanted to start and stop at. But yeah, I did. One of the other things that I considered was that I thought about. My initial thought was I was gonna hold for a while after the old man was slain, and before he sort of have a more cinematic fading into existence, have him saying I'm dead. But obviously this was all formulated around I'm dead. Old man dying and just having I'm dead. We had this whole sequence. But then when I was I was ending the day. I was ending my YouTube poop editing day, and I thought for now I'm done. I'll just put the I'm dead pretty close to the him actually being slain. And I put that there, and I thought that's actually really good. I think that's actually funnier if I keep it there rather than if I wait for it and have this long cinematic moment. I think just having him suddenly be dead, that rapid turnaround is a lot of fun. So I kept it. So those are the old man jokes. We are almost done. We'll go for the credits just because it's simple, and I want to end on. I feel like I want to end on explaining an actual joke. So, but we also have announcements, but still, you have. I realized that I wanted to put a little something in the credits. I was initially just gonna have it be this. Repeat, just sort of having it be being very creepy and very sort of detached from the rest of the video. But I thought, I played around with it a little, and I got, and I just sort of found that I liked how this played out. And I was just sort of expecting a guy here, and I thought it's funny to end on, it being unresolved. Is like, I thought it. I just thought it was funny to end that way. Now let's get to the mask. Let's get to the mask joke. Obligatory mask joke. I believe. I believe the top comment on the announcement for this video. It was called "Holy Crap, Lois," a new YouTube poop collab, and of course the whole thing of the meme being I kicked your ass. Holy crap, Lois! I'm not Lois. Yeah, and then the whole so I believe the top comment on that on the announcement video was just I'm not Lois. So I knew that I was gonna have to put a mask joke in there. I knew that everybody was going to be putting a mask joke in there pretty much, or a lot of people were at least. So I thought, how am I going to make this my, ad break. This is too important. This is too important for me to, so we will wait. We'll wait until the ads come back. In the meantime, is there anything else that I want to talk about? I'll say some jokes that I wanted to include but didn't have time to include. I wanted to include there was unfortunately Han Solo, Peter Griffin as Han Solo, never said I've got a bad feeling about this. I wanted to do something about that. I wanted to maybe do something with Bad Apple. although that is heavily copyrighted. So, uh, um, there was, oh yeah, 1253. I wrote down C3PO saying "serial killer, you freak." That would be something to do. Um, there's a moment where where the John Williams in the choir shows up, and I thought there was an opportunity to do. I'd like you to play that song again, the one that goes, and just do something with that. Those were the main things. There's also oh yeah, dreadfulness also. Dreadfulness with 2 L's. Dreadfulness, I think, did this sort of, I think, a bit further to an extent than I did. Hello, we'll get back to, I stopped talking about the mask because you went on ad break, but now I also want to mention that I was mentioning that Dreadfulness did a really good job doing a joke that I had sort of thought of, but wasn't thought about doing, that wasn't actually gonna spend too much time on doing, which was
willing to pay big money.
Willing to pay big. He was talking about like his sexy friends with big money, and of course, like, I knew somebody was gonna do it. Like I mean, only like after watching, like, of course somebody's gonna do it. But, like, I had thought about doing the kind of thing where like Obi-Wan just is like sexy in front of every like set of words, like you know, this. What is? I don't know. I'm stumbling on my words. Just watch Dreadfulness's video. Dreadfulness is one of the poopers that I discovered after the Freebirds YouTube poop collab, and I do enjoy their work. So the mask joke.
Somebody stop me! I'm stuck in the trap.
Yeah. So the mask verse it goes. Yep.
I kicked your ass.
Yes. Holy crap, Lois.
Somebody stop me! I'm stuck in the trap. How giggity Lois and make more sons of the
Yeah. So if you've seen anything referencing Giggity Lois, yeah, I'll Giggity Lois and do something. It's from that. So so what I have here is, so initially had the idea of there's an elevator that they take. There's this joke about let's see, where is it? This joke that like that, which is the Death Star is just like a mall that they're trying to get through. Initially, I wanted to do it here.
Oh, wrong floor. Stormtrooper Church. And do you, Alan, take Judith to be your lawfully wedded wife till death or a giant explosion do you part?
So you had that, and I was initially going to do it there, but then I sort of realized that here would be the best place to have it. And yeah, I feel like most people are going to use this, but there's a use just the Stormtrooper Church one. But I felt like this was the best place for my joke, and here's why. I wanted them to open the door and to see the mask. But then what I also wanted is what I also wanted for them, like, I also wanted them to be so annoyed at the mask's presence that they just slam the door on the mask and keep going down the elevator. So that is sort of what I think that was kind of sort of inspired by, like, the fact that, oh, it's a wrong floor, they just keep going. It was sort of inspired by that, but I had to do it where they stop because have them turn, and they now just like reverse that reverse the I said reverse the video. Why am I forgetting what a video is? Somebody help me. um, but yeah, reverse. Yeah, have the door. Yeah, just close the door on the mask. We don't need to deal with them. So I had to loop. I had to loop this footage here because after the
Do your
stormtrooper
part.
search, it's just that. That's all you get. So, and this one was where I was really fun with playing with a longer joke because longer joke. Once I knew you were going to turn away, and when I knew they were going to turn away and go back down the elevator, when I knew that they were going to turn away, I thought I'll say the logical thing is to build up to it, have a long build up to it, have the elevator music. The Empire theme elevator music is actually really funny in Family Guy. One of the few like funny parts of that. And I did really enjoy that. So I thought, okay, we have a long wait. We're building up to something here, and I thought, okay, let's put in some other elevator music, especially because the Star Wars thing might get copyrighted, maybe. So it was between Undertale's long elevator and the Stanley Parable elevator music. For I forget exactly what the reasons were, but I struggled to put the Stanley Parable one in here, so I just did long elevator. Hit song long elevator from Undertale, everybody's favorite. There are no Metacritic shenanigans with that at all. But yeah, so I had to have this loop a few times. And there is a little cut in the music that you can notice a bit. But yeah, long elevator coming to an end. Yeah, the mask pop up. And it was like, okay, like the joke is gonna end, like it's like, you know what? Now that they've closed the door on the mask, they think the joke's ended here. They think the joke's ended here. We're gonna go on to another thing. Nope, it's long elevator again. You gotta wait longer. You gotta wait longer. I thought like this is really sort of just, and I'm very proud of this decision. Just putting, it's really like the icing on top of the cake for me for this. So yeah, those are all of the jokes in this video. Those are all of the jokes. I'm glad I went through everything again. If you have any other questions, please let me know. In the meantime, I'm gonna do some announcements. Listen to that. I'm happy to answer anything you want. I believe again, there was one that I remember. Just how long did it take? I don't remember how long exactly I spent exactly like my working hours on this video, but but overall it took just over a month. There are things that I have two announcements for you today. My first announcement, hold on, please. Nope, that's, oh, that's just video. All right, so in honor of the YouTube loop being done, in honor of the Uma Musume joke, I will be playing Uma Musume on stream on Sunday. Very excited for that. I was secretly hoping that you all, this was a bit of a failed joke. This is a bit of a failed joke with the community, because what I was hoping would happen, I put horse game on the poll. I was hoping that that's what you all would go for. because and the idea is, I said I had horse game, the one, the horse game that we're obviously talking about. And then my plan was to bait and switch you all and just do skate horse instead, which was like a silly, stupid, silly little game that was ran at GDQ. The idea was to trick all of you. The idea was to trick all of you until this point, until this stream, where it's like, okay, we're actually gonna play Umusume. I thought if I put it on the poll, you all would that everyone was gonna vote for it. Turns out we got Worshippers of Cthulhu instead, and people actually really like that. People really like that stream, and it's and want to see more of that game. Which awesome! If I can't bamboozle people live on stream, then that is the next best option. so yeah, we'll be playing Uma Musume on Sunday. I have gone through the tutorial. I went through it a week or two ago because I thought because Twitch is saying, hey, you have rewards for this game that are gonna expire. And I had to go through the tutorial before I could redeem them. And then it turns out, nope, that's actually just for the Japanese or Chinese version. I forget which one. I just got scammed into playing Uma Musume. But I was gonna do it anyways. So yeah. That is Sunday's announcement. The other announcement is simple. We will be having a Twitch affiliate celebration stream slash 2 months of streaming celebration stream on Wednesday, August 13th, with a number of special guests. We have collected a few of them. We are collecting them all like Pokemon. And we were putting them in Pokeballs, and they're going to be sitting in Bill's PC forever. Too bad. I guess your streaming careers are over. Or actually, no. Maybe since that actually might be more fitting because you're VTubers. That might be more fitting to VTuber lore. I don't know. Does it look like I know what I'm doing here? If you thought that I knew what I was doing here, then oh boy, are you sorely mistaken. Anyways, we have Kit Kate on board. We have Kai Shinryu on board. We have, I believe, there are a few others. Yeah, we have Spexifier on board. There were a few others. I won't announce all of the names just yet because I want to make sure that everybody can come. Because there are some people who were waiting for what the times would be, and I hadn't been able to decide until now. But it's going to be like a 6:30 start time. It's going to be 1 hour later than usual. 6:30 start time. So it'll probably run. It'll run an hour and a half at least. Maybe more, maybe less. But yeah, we'll be doing some multiplayer games. Mainly Jackbox. We might also do Fall Guys. So yeah, if you are, yeah, that is definitely that is something that I'm excited for. So do stop by if you want. Yeah, and if there are no other questions, that's pretty much it. And cool, let me go on to Twitch right now and let me see if there's anyone. Let's expect this live. Yeah, let's go say hi to Specs. Let's go say hi to Specs, and then I will have to raid and run. But yeah, hope you all enjoyed that little behind the scenes. Excited to potentially make more YouTube poops in the future. Thank you all so much for coming by, and I hope. Oh, first I gotta actually start my raid. Yeah, I hope you had a good time. I'm glad to hear it. I am very glad to hear it. Yeah, come on, yeah, hop on board. Let's get going. I don't know why it's only string, but whatever. Again, thanks for coming. I have been Tai Altera, and I lost my OBS. Where is it? Nope, that's not OBS. Not OBS, idiot. There we go. That has been stream for today. Hope to see you all at the next one.